All right, guys, how's it going? I don't think you're going to see much of me today. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm really not very well. I've been off it for a while, actually, but I'm on day 4 of some antibiotics. I got like a bit of a chesty thing going on. If you're on last night's stream, I was a bit bunged up and that, so it's probably a good idea just to rest a little bit today. And if I feel better in the day, I'll come on and do some vids and do a live stream tonight. But if you don't see much of me today, you just know that I'm knackered. All right. What we're talking about. Now, as you know, I review the Spanish football dailies for you every day of the week. Marca, AS, Sport, and Mundo Deportivo. They're very valuable to us. You might wonder why, but you've only got to look at last year with the Trent Alexander-Arnold situation. We followed things closely with Luis Díaz and Barcelona. And at the moment, there's obviously the Canate situation. Mark Gay's been getting a mention recently. McAllister is another thing that I look out for and has been mentioned. And also FSG, they've been targeting Spanish clubs. So I keep an eye on these things just in case anything comes up of importance. Massive shout out to Niall, who renewed Marca, AS and Sport for us. €300 he paid for that. He's one of my viewers. And also Henry the Hero and Niall, who both paid for Mundo Deportivo, which is the 4th Spanish football daily. So all 4, we spent €400 this week, or they have spent, to help me, you, us, with this channel. So I can't thank those guys enough. We're very lucky to have people like that. So I was able to go through those newspapers today, thanks to those guys. And there was nothing in them about Canate or any of the other subjects that we were looking out for. But they are, of course, talking about Alonso. Now, Arne Slot's position is obviously under threat at Liverpool, whether you want him to stay, whether you want him to go, whatever, right? And that it's a similar situation for Alonso at Real Madrid. And someone left a comment the other day saying, why would you want Alonso when he's struggling? He's not struggling at Real Madrid. I think the last time I looked, they were 4 points behind Barcelona in the league, second, all right? So they're not struggling. They're in the Super Cup semi-final this evening against Atletico Madrid. It's just been more about if you don't get on with the players. And if these players at Real Madrid, they can be a bit fucking, do you know who I am? Okay, do you know what I mean? And then you get an old school manager like Alonso going in saying, shut your fucking trap. And it can backfire, I guess. So it's more about his relationship with the players. And they've got a lot of injuries as well. They've had a lot of injuries, including to Mbappe. Trent's out, obviously, as well. He's gone over to Saudi for this game, even though he's injured. He's travelled with the club. The club, as Rafa Benitez would say, for sure. So, I've been saying for a while, because people ask me about the Alonso situation in Madrid, because they know I watch things. And I've been saying for a while, only my opinion, but I think if he loses the cup game, the Super Cup game, to Atletico Madrid, of all clubs, on now, right? I remember saying it ages ago, well, it's in January at some point. Well, here we are, we're there now. If he loses that tonight, he could be sacked. If he's not sacked tonight, if he loses, he's fucking very close to being sacked. That's my opinion. I've had it for weeks and weeks and weeks, right? And today, in AS, because and José Félix Díaz now writes for them. He worked for Marca for more than 30 years. He's defected. He's gone to their rivals now. He commented. He said something, and I picked it up in his in this article, long article today. Nothing to do with Liverpool, but to do with what I think, and I think he's alluding to the same thing that I've been thinking. It's a long article. Not going to read it to you. Just going to pick 2 bits out that he said. For those of you that are interested in Alonso's situation. What happens in Jeddah, where the game is being played, will mark the competitive future of Real Madrid. Fast forward a few paragraphs to the end of the article. Xabi Alonso knows that what happens in Jeddah from today will be definitive for his future. It is the law of football, and more so at Real Madrid. Now, that is Perez talking through him, in my opinion. So I think it backs up my opinion that, this is a massive game. I mean, they haven't been really saying that in the press, but I know it's a massive game. We've been out here and everything. If he wins, no problem. He buys a bit more time, continues to kick the can down the road. The same with Slot tonight. If we beat Arsenal, pressure's off for a little bit, continues to kick the can down the road. But the inevitable is going to happen with Arne Slot, and the inevitable is going to happen with Alonso as well. That's what I think. All right. Now, when that'll happen, I don't know. Maybe Alonso can patch things up. I don't know. Slot isn't. I think Slot's situation is far graver. I don't see it. Anyway, if they win tonight, we won't be discussing this tomorrow. If they lose tonight, let's see what we're talking about tomorrow. Now, for those of you that don't know, the Super Cup is 4 teams, right, that take part in this tournament. It used to be 2 teams, but I think it was in 2020 they made it 4 teams. And basically, it's the winners and runners-up of the Copa del Rey, which is like the FA Cup equivalent, and the winners and the runners-up of the league, and they put those teams into a tournament. And that's been played. Barcelona played last night in the semi-final. Who were they playing? Was it Athletic Bilbao or something? I can't. Not interested, to be honest with you. I'm just keeping an eye on the Real Madrid situation and Alonso. And my belief was that Alonso was first choice to be our manager when Jurgen was gone. I then think that Ruben Amorim was the second choice. Arne Slot, maybe he was 3rd or 4th. He wasn't even in the debate at the time. Nagelsmann, I think, was in there. I can't remember. But I'll never believe that shite that Arne Slot was the man that they wanted above, like, Alonso. I'll never believe that. But it was obvious Alonso was going to go and try his luck at Real Madrid, like people like Rafa Benitez, and look what happened there. If you don't get on with people, you're fucked. So that's it. So those of you that are interested in the current situation with different managers and things, Alonso has to be looked at. If you think that Richard Hughes and Michael Edwards are not keeping an eye on that situation, you're deluded. Seriously. What would you do if you were the chief executive or director of football? If you were responsible for hiring and firing, and you're going through that situation now and you're thinking, fuck me, we might have to replace this numpty, what would you be thinking? Would you go, oh, I'm not interested in what's happening with Alonso, you think we better keep a fucking eye on? You know what I mean? It's common sense, guys. So I won't be surprised if there's exclusives about Alonso in the next few days if it goes tits up tonight. So I'll keep an eye on that for you, all right? And then tomorrow, if you're interested in this kind of thing, then tomorrow, obviously, I will go through, see what the papers are saying. If he wins, maybe we won't have to. All right, guys. I feel a bit more awake than I did on my morning briefing, but I know I should go and lie down. So I'm just gonna have a little break. I'll speak to you in a bit. All right. If you found this video informative, if you want to support my channel, thumbs up the channel. All right. If you don't thumbs up the channel, you are not supporting me. So if you love my channel, right, doesn't mean you agree with me and everything, but thumbsing up, dropping me a comment. YouTube look for that shit, right? Okay. So if you'd be gutted if one day you woke up and I weren't here, thumbs up. All right. Do it. And what else is there? Oh, there's a love out under the video if you want to, what's the word? Support my channel, is it? Support the channel or something? Yeah, something like that. See, I'm tired. And if there is, there's links in the video description if you want to get me a beer or a coffee. But truth be told, will I get out on Saturday for it? You're fucking too right, I will. Get my Revolut fucking topped up, guys. I want a beer. Nah, we'll see. We'll have to see, to be honest with you. So anyway, that's what José Félix Díaz had to say. You're going to listen to what he says. I think he's alluding to my thoughts, that Alonso needs to win this game. All right, guys, you take care. I'll speak to you real soon.